Hey guys, so I tried to do this yesterday and it didn't feel right for some reason. I might include some of that in this one. However, I'm starting a vlog. So I will try to take you guys along with most of what I am doing today as much as I can. I also might go horseback riding this weekend, so I will try to bring you guys along for that too. I just wanted to get my first video filmed and edited and then put up, just so I can, I guess, get the ball rolling, get started, because this is something I've wanted to do for years, and it just never felt right. Nothing I ever filmed felt like me. And I think a big part of that is because I didn't know who I was. So, welcome. I go by Valkyrie Elise. Most of my friends on Twitch that I game with, they just call me Valk. So, I'm back just on YouTube. And let's get this day on the farm started. Okay, so first thing is usually what I do in the mornings is I get here. If I'm here early enough, I will drink my coffee, and then I will just kind of chill for a minute until 7:30, and then I will get the feed buckets and dump them into their bowls, and then take it out to the horses, because I guess I didn't fully explain. I work on a farm, hence the barn. I'm currently in the feed room. So what we're gonna do is we're going to make dinner for the horses. Go ahead and get that out of the way. So I have two horses I take care of, Mulan and Fleischmann. And so they both get breakfast and dinner grain or sweet feed, whatever you want to call it. And I make that. I make their breakfast, dinners, feed them, put all the supplements in, give them medications. So Mulan's feed is in here, Fleischmann's is in here. They have two different feeds because Mulan is 8 years old and Fleischmann is like 28. So Mulan gets the equivalent of one full scoop. I just scoop it in two halves because it's kind of a tight fit to get in there to try to get a whole one. And it's so sticky that it just makes it difficult. So I just do 2 half scoops. And for them, they don't get any supplements or medications. For Fleischmann's sake, he gets a ton of medications. Mulan gets a few because she's hurt herself, and yeah, it was bad. So she's on stall rest. So there's a lot of random mistakes. I probably should sit you down to do this, but why not struggle? I tend to do things the hard way instead of the easy way. His is a little easier to scoop, so it ends up just being one. Then scoop that. And then Mulan's Fleischmann's. Their names are on the bucket. They're not color coded for any reason. It's just what we had. And I just put them down in this bucket, or this barrel, because I don't grab you guys. We put it in the barrel because we have we have a ton of squirrels obviously being out in on a huge property. And then we'll occasionally get like rats or field mice that come in and try to steal. Oh, where's his feed? This over here is like where all the feed, medications, vet wrap, like anything we need to take care of horses that we don't need a vet for. All of that stuff's over there. This room over here is the bathroom, sink, and just kind of like a little break area, a table, everything like that. It's just easy that way. So yeah, don't know where my boss is at. She had to take the trash to the dump because with us being on a farm property or ranch, whatever you want to call it, I don't really know the difference. We have horses, that's it. We don't have like cattle or anything, so I guess it's either or. But Mulan, so she fractured a chunk of her hock, like a bone in her hock off, that a tendon, cannot remember the name of it, but I will try to find an x-ray picture and put it in here to give you an idea of what happened. But a chunk of what's equivalent to our ankle, like that little knot on the outside of your ankle, essentially a chunk of that got chipped away because she, terrible, got chipped away because we don't know what happened exactly. We're assuming she took off running around a turn in the pasture and slipped, and when her leg went underneath her, the tendon just snapped that section of bone off because the tendon was still attached to that chunk. Thankfully, the piece of bone that did get chipped off and that tendon isn't 100% necessary for like survival. Like there's a lot of injuries to the legs that are not fixable with horses just because of how their anatomy is. And so thankfully we were able to get her down to the as like a specialist vet to get that taken care of. And she's on stall rest. She was only supposed to be on stall rest for a month, but she is a little crazy, so it's been almost 2 months now. And I will introduce you to them here in a little bit. Yeah, so, and then I'll kind of explain a little bit more of what I do here shortly. So, see you guys then. Okay, hey guys, I'm back. It was a busy morning, so I didn't get a lot. However, right now, this little bug is just one love. This is Fletchman. He is sweet boy. He's just a big puppy dog. And then, so he's just kind of out and about in here. He's got basically this whole area just wander around in. And he is over here and in this little area because this girlfriend, say hi. This is Mulan. She's not as sweet. She's a little baby. But she is she fractured a piece of her hock bone off. So she has been on stall rest for coming up on 2 months now. She itchy. She is also bored out of her ever-loving mind. And so we just gotta keep her taken care of and everything. And gotta keep stalls clean, buckets filled, that kind of stuff. But yeah. So, gotta clean up messes in his stalls. We leave his stalls just open so that if he wants to or needs to come in here to hang out, he can. My hair is a mess. But yeah, so we're done. We did already take care of cleaning up her night stall, because at night she's in a different stall since she is, so that we can switch her back and forth, because I need to get another thing of chips and wood chips in here. But yeah, so basically she's got this stall for nighttime, and then she's in that stall for the daytime, just so we can get all cleaned up and taken care of. Yeah, so we've got this stall cleaned out. This is refresh powder. It's just to make sure that that's still not good. The lighting's fine. It's just one of the few places I have to hang this. But anyways, it's so that when like she pees and it's still wet, that it'll like dry it up and keep it from smelling. Because the two most important things that you need to know with horses, well, technically there's three important things you need to know with horses: clean water, clean environment, plenty of like grass or hay, something of that sort for them to munch on. So we try to keep up with that as best we can. Obviously, with her being a little crazy, it's harder for us to, let's just see if I can, that's fine. It's harder for us to just keep it like super clean, but transitioning her from that stall to this one, you know, between the day and nights, like flip-flopping, makes it a little bit easier until she gets all better, can go out in the pastures. Also, if I look different between this video and, or in this video, like it was kind of pieced together. I did film some yesterday. I just was not a huge fan of how exactly it turned out when I was looking over the footage. At least I didn't find enough of it that I liked, so I figured I'd just kind of like refilm it. And if I liked one part from yesterday that I either didn't touch on today or liked better than what I filmed today, I figured I could just kind of chop it all together. I'll try not to do that too much, just because I know that's probably annoying and not a good way to do things. But I'm also new at this, so yeah. I'm gonna do the best I can for this first video, but I also am super perfectionist, which is why I just started this, even though I've been wanting to do it for years, like I think I mentioned earlier. But yeah, also I may not show a lot of outside and around the barn very much, just because this is where I work. It's not my property. These are not my horses. So I'm just trying to be respectful, because I'm not gonna dox myself or my employers. So we're gonna do our best to get y'all some good footage and get y'all some entertainment, I hope. But bear with me while I figure all this out, and I will do my best. Okay, let's get back. So we also here use different bowls. Like earlier I showed you the feed bowls or buckets. That's what we prep the food in for either breakfast or dinner. These bowls here are their breakfast bowls, or the bowls from their breakfast. And then the green buckets that you can see, those are what we scoop the stalls, I guess, into, to then put them in the spreader. It's the gator we pull it with. So I am now fixing to wash these guys and then start getting everything ready for their dinner. why we wash what we use to scoop the buckets, or the poop buckets. It's because in the event that the well goes out again, because this is such an old place, we have spare buckets we can use to get water in, because thankfully the neighbors are super great and understand that the horses need water, so we just keep it clean and make sure that we have all the resources needed and available to take care of them the best we can. Okay, so I am fixing to put the feed from the buckets where I prepared it earlier into their bowls, and then use those buckets to make breakfast. Actually, probably gonna move you guys over here. Okay, so now it's time for supplements. Milan gets 2, 3, 4, 5 different supplements. There's no good spots to put you guys, so we'll just get back over here. So, sounds really pretty. So I always start with one of these little cups and like a knife, because she's got 4 powders, and one of those powders is super fine and dusty. So put this one in first because it's more wet. Just a little more. And then kind of shake it, get a lot of the clumps out. This is the one that's super fine and powdery. This is why I put it straight onto the more wet supplement. am still nervous. And then before I get the other powder to put on top to then mix it, because it's a heavier powder, Fleischmann gets 3 supplements. This one just gets a little scoop. Boop, right on top. I lied. He gets 1, 2, 3. He gets 4. She has 5. I don't know if I counted right the first time. I don't know. They both get one of these, which is pain medicine, because of Fleischmann's knee that buckles, and because she had surgery and we're trying to keep the swelling and all down. And then that's that. And then the other one is down here. It's in this one. So we'll see if we can't. Set it up here. He gets just a little bit because he doesn't like it and he really won't eat it. So just sprinkle a little bit on there. And then he gets a full scoop, and like I said, I just put it right in here. And then I take it and just mix it up. The 2 reasons for that is because the one powder is kind of damp. The real light, fine powder that's super dusty will kind of absorb some of that, and it'll actually stick to the sides of the bowl, like her bucket, her feed bucket. So I try to mix it so that it doesn't pull moisture out of the air. It just pulls the moisture out of that one, or the more wet powder. And then so then it just, you know, gets kind of absorbed there. Makes it a lot less messy and a lot easier to make sure that she gets all of the supplement. It just goes right in there. And they also get they each get 2 scoops of the little pellets down here. And then first grab this. So what I'm going to do is just take our bucket with us over to this barrel, because over here, I really need to get a tripod. Over here I will need to get all my supply. So we put one of her little pellet supplements in here just because it comes in a much bigger jug that is not conducive to easy access when you just need 2 scoops in the morning. So I'm just going to take this out and just fill it up. I almost drop it because back in there. Set that back in that barrel. Make sure no rodents or bugs get in. And I actually forgot to put the 2 into her tea bucket here. So this is what Mulan's looks like. It just can't hold my phone very well like that. And just shake it up. Get some of that powder down in there. And grab Fleischmann's and shake it too. That's what his looks like. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know, maybe. Then I just stack them. And do the same thing I did earlier. Throw them in the bucket or the barrel. Oh, they get kind of heavy. Try and do that one-handed. And then I just make sure everything is ready to go for tomorrow morning. That's why I refilled this, because I don't work on the weekends. I work Monday through Friday, and then the other guy who works / lives here, he takes over on the weekends, and any days that I'm off, he is here. I'm super grateful that I do get weekends off, but I do miss these guys on the weekends, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, so that's kind of the day in the life of me, I guess. If you have any questions like about the supplements, what they're for, or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, give it a like. But you don't have to. Like, don't feel the need. If you come across this and you're more of a gamer, I am on Twitch. Excuse me. Typically Sunday through Friday, about 6:30, depending on what's going on. I haven't been getting out of work till like 5:30, so it has been closer to 7-ish that I get on. But just let me know what you think.